There are lots of things all around us, exciting things that surround us.
But how does it work?
Do you know?
How is it made?
Do you know? Things that go up, things that go down, things that go pop, things that go round. With special cameras to show you inside. It's going to be a big surprise.
But how does it work?
Do you know?
How is it made?
Do you know? Do you know?
Let's find out!
Hello, I'm Maddie, and I've just sat down to have my lunch. That was yummy. I really enjoyed it. And there's no food left on my plate. But what's happening to the food I've just eaten? My food is being digested, which means it's gone into my body where it's being broken down and turned into energy that will keep me strong and healthy. But what's going on inside our bodies when we digest food? How does digestion work? Let's find out. How does it work?
Digestion.
All living things, like us, need food. Just like a car needs fuel to go, our bodies need food to work properly. Food is our fuel. Do you have a favourite food?
Maybe it's swirly spaghetti or a yummy chicken curry with rice.
It's important we eat lots of different types of food, and there are 5 main food groups. On the yellow are types of food that we call carbohydrates.
These include foods like pasta, rice. Oh, there's some bread.
They give us energy.
In the red area is the protein group.
What can you spot? Eggs, some meat, fish, nuts, beans and lentils. They're like the building blocks for our body that help us grow and repair ourselves.
The green section gives us vitamins, minerals and fibre. But what are they?
That's right, fruit and vegetables. And this is important because it helps us to fight infection like a cold or a flu, and they keep us healthy.
The fourth group is dairy. Most dairy foods come from animal milk.
Here we've got cheese, yoghurt and cow's milk. But dairy foods give us an important mineral called calcium. And calcium helps to keep our teeth and bones strong and healthy.
You can also get calcium from milk made out of plants, like soya or almonds.
And on the purple, we have types of food called fats and sugars. It's important for us to have some fats because they help keep our bodies warm, they help us to use vitamins, and they keep our brains working properly. But there are 2 different types of fat.
Healthy fats, like nuts, seeds, and oily fish. And fats you should eat less of. They're in things like cake and chocolate, which also contain sugar.
Now for the fun part. We need the right amount of all 5 food groups to help our bodies work properly. We call it a balanced diet. It's easy to choose a balanced diet. We just need a plate.
Look, the plate is being split into different colours. Yellow is carbohydrate. Red is protein. Fruit and vegetables are green. Dairy is blue. And fats are purple. This is a balanced diet and shows us how much of each food group we should eat. So, what should I have for my balanced dinner?
I've got chicken for protein, rice for carbohydrates, carrots and beans for vegetables, with some yoghurt for dairy and banana for fruit.
Instead of chicken, I could also have some fish or beans for protein.
That all looked really tasty, didn't it? But what happens inside our bodies when we eat a balanced diet? To find out, I think we need to take a closer look.
When we put food in our mouths, we chew it. Glands, called salivary glands, create saliva, which make our food wetter and easier to swallow. As we swallow, the food goes down a pipe called the esophagus into the stomach. Inside the stomach, the food mixes with stomach acid and special chemicals our body makes called enzymes. Enzymes help break down the food into tiny pieces, which then move into the small intestine. The proteins, fats and carbohydrates are broken down, and the vitamins and energy from the food are taken in our blood from the small intestines to be used around our bodies. The food that our bodies can't use is moved along to the large intestine. The water is taken away, and the leftover waste is made into feces, which we call poo. And finally, when all the food is processed, a message is sent to the brain to tell us we need to go to the toilet.
That was really interesting, wasn't it? Our bodies use the nutrients from the 5 food groups in lots of different ways.
But it's our heart that pumps the energy from our digested food around the body in our blood. So, when I run around, the more I run, the faster my heart pumps the energy around my body.
Can you remember what food group gives us the energy? That's right, carbohydrates. Every time I jump up and down, I'm using my muscles and my bones. Can you remember which food group helps our bodies to grow and repair? That's right, proteins.
And don't forget fruit and vegetables that help keep us healthy.
It was so interesting finding out how digestion works. What was your favourite part?
Do you remember the food group that gives us lots of energy? That's right, it's carbohydrates. Can you remember what pumps energy around our body so we can play? Yes, it's our heart. And did you see all the yummy food laid out on my colourful food group table?
Because we've been using lots of energy, I think we can have a special treat. What's your favourite dessert? I like something that's fruity, crunchy and gooey all at the same time.
Fruit and meringue.
But how is a meringue crunchy on the outside and gooey in the middle? Do you know how a meringue is made? Let's find out.
How is it made?
Meringue!
To find out how meringue is made, I've come here to a meringue bakery. Here they make lots of different types of meringue in all sorts of shapes and sizes. Purple ones, big ones and small ones, and even meringue drizzled in chocolate. The main ingredient we need to make any meringue is these, eggs. Inside an egg there are 2 parts. A thick, clear, gooey liquid called the egg white, and a thicker yellow part called the egg yolk. And the bit that we need to make meringue is the egg white.
The egg whites arrive at this factory already separated from the yolks, like this.
The next ingredient we need is sugar. And sugar comes in granules like this. But to make the perfect meringue, we need hot sugar.
The sugar is spread on these trays to be heated.
For our meringue mixture, we need 1, 2, 3, 4 trays of sugar fresh from the sugar oven.
While the sugar is heating, we need to start work on the egg whites.
First, the right amount of egg white is weighed on these scales, and then it gets put into a huge mixing bowl. Inside the mixing bowl, the egg whites are being whipped by a whisk. You might have a mixer a bit like this at home, but here, the whisks are massive.
It's bigger than my head.
Egg whites are made of protein, and inside protein are thousands of tiny little strings called amino acids.
When the egg white is runny, the amino acids are curled up closely together. When they're whisked. The amino acids unfold and wrap around air bubbles which the whisk makes as it spins, making the mixture fluffy and ready for sugar to be added.
Whoa! Can you hear that alarm? That means the hot sugar is ready to come out of the sugar oven and get added to the fluffy egg whites.
The sugar needs to be whisked into the egg white for 15 minutes.
But because the whisk moves so quickly, I'm going to film this with one of my special cameras. This camera films in slow motion, which means when we watch things back, we can see them happening more slowly.
Look, in slow motion, you can see the whisk whipping the solid crystals of sugar into the fluffy egg white.
And this makes the mixture lovely and glossy, thick and sticky.
Which means it's time to add some flavour.
What colour do you think the strawberry meringue mixture is going to be? That's right, red. Liam and Kaylee use big spoons to scoop out the mixture. Then they give it a swirl and push it onto a tray with a spatula.
They're really starting to look like meringues now, aren't they?
They make 18 meringues on a tray, and there are 16 trays on a rack. That's 288 meringues just here.
And if you stacked each meringue on top of each other, they'd be taller than Buckingham Palace.
These look fantastic and good enough to eat, but they're not quite finished yet. The meringue are wheeled into this huge oven where they're baked at a low temperature for around 2 hours.
This is to stop the outside of the meringues from cracking and to make sure the inside stays lovely and gooey.
Inside the oven, the meringue is turned around like it's going for a ride on a carousel. This makes sure that they're baked evenly the whole way through so that we know the meringue is definitely cooked. They look tasty, don't they? Whoa! Crunchy on the outside and gooey in the middle. I loved finding out how meringue is made. What was your favourite bit?
Do you remember the name of the machine that mixed the egg white? That's right, it's called a whisk. Did you hear the sound of the oven's alarm when it was ready to take the sugar out? And did you see how glossy and thick the whisk made the egg whites and sugar on my special camera?
So the next time you see a meringue or have one as a special treat, you'll know how it was made. And now you know what happens to food when we digest it in our bodies. Right, I think it's time to tuck in. I'll see you next time.
There are lots of things all around.